Hi, this is Todd from UXly Software, the creators of OneShot API. OneShot API is now a verified Make technology partner, which means you can now automate your on-chain workflows using Make scenarios. This is going to be a quick tutorial to show you how to get started with OneShot API inside of your Make scenarios. So the first thing that you're going to do is come to OneShotAPI.com and make sure you have a free account. Once you do that, come back over to Make.com and let's log in. And let's start by creating a new scenario. So if we come to the Scenarios tab and click Create a New Scenario, the first thing Make does is ask you to pick from one of their integrated apps. If you search for OneShot API, the OneShot API tools will pop up, and you should know that Make breaks tools down into triggers, actions, and searches. Let's just pick one of these to get started with authentication. Because if I click Create a New Wallet, the first thing it'll ask me to do when I use OneShot API the first time is to create a connection. So we click Create Connection, it'll pop up and ask us for a client ID, secret, and a business ID. This is what allows Make to talk to our OneShot API user account. So come back over to OneShot, and let's go to the API Keys tab. Let's create a new one. We'll call it Make Tutorial. And we'll copy the key and the secret. Be sure to keep these pieces of information safe. You don't want to expose them to other people. And then lastly, the business ID can be found in the top right corner of your OneShot API dashboard. And then hit Save. So once you've created your first connection, you can reuse that credential connection with all of your OneShot API tools that you might put into a scenario. And if you want to manage that connection further, you can come over here to this hamburger menu, go to More, go to Connections, and you can see all of the different connections you might have to different third-party services. So if you want to delete this to cut the account connection to OneShot API, you can delete that here. So if we come back over to Scenarios, click into the scenario that we just started. The last thing I want to emphasize here in the Quickstart tutorial, once you've created an account connection, is for the two most used OneShot API tools, i.e. read and write. These two methods use a drop-down box that expose the different read and write methods that are available in your OneShot API account. So if you come back over here to OneShot API and go to My Smart Contracts, the options in this drop-down box are the smart contract methods that you have imported into your user account's My Smart Contracts tab. So you can add different methods either by clicking the Create a New Smart Contract, inputting the smart contract address and selecting the chain, and then importing those methods individually into My Smart Contracts, or you can come to the OneShot prompts directory and search with natural language based on the kind of smart contract you are looking for. For instance, stablecoin, something like USDC might show up, and from here you can find the functions that you are looking for. For instance, transfer with authorization. You can click Add and add that endpoint to your My Smart Contracts list, and then those functions will show up here for you to use in your Make scenarios. So that's all I'm going to cover in this Quick Start tutorial. We walk through creating a Make account, ensuring that you have an API key in OneShot and using that in creating a connection. And then also we reviewed the smart contract methods and how those are selected in your Make scenarios. Check out some of our other YouTube videos for walkthroughs of complete Make scenarios using OneShot API for on-chain actions.